Over the last 2 months, I've spent lakhs of rupees learning how to code. For the last 4 or 5 years, I've wanted to learn how to code. And for whatever reason, I've done one online course after another online course, completed the course, got the certificate, but then within 6 months, I'd forget it. And at one point, I was just like, this is enough. I'm going to take strong action. I'm going to be able to build a product in the next 3 months. This was 3 months ago. And now I can build fully functioning front-end, back-end products because I just decided that this was enough. In this video, I'm going to tell you why you should never buy any online course, no matter what the influencer is telling you, no matter what your teacher in college is telling you. No Coursera, no Udemy, no influencer course, etc. Granted, there are some good influencer courses out there, especially the ones who do the whole cohort, etc. I've seen a lot of people start their careers out of that and they do well. But probably 99% of online courses are a complete scam and they are a complete waste of time. I'll tell you my story of online courses. So back when I was in college, I was studying engineering, computer engineering, and I was interested in everything except for computer engineering. And this is the truth with most computer engineers. So I started an online course on finance. It's a very common course on Coursera, but I took the course and within like 6 months I completed it. And I was like, wow, now I know about finance. You know what I did next? I started an online course on philosophy. 3 months later, I completed that. I started an online course on game theory. Granted, this was a very good decision on my part and I did learn a lot. But 6 months later, I don't remember anything. And this is the huge problem with online courses. There is so much information that is being fed to you all the time that filtering through the information is extremely difficult. Let's say I want to do an online course. Which one should I do? Should I learn Python, Ruby, SQL, JavaScript, C, C++? I don't know. Now, okay, maybe I'll take an advice from my college teacher. Does the college teacher know? Has the college teacher built a fully functioning web app and made money out of it? So the problem is in this age is that we live in an information overload. There is insane amounts of information entering the human brain at a very, very fast pace. And you need to be able to filter out what information you get at what amounts of time. And this cannot happen if you're doing an online course. I know some people manage to learn some insane skills online, but for the average person like me, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult for you to learn from an online course and then actually build a career with something that you've learned online. This is probably the reason why universities still exist. Another interesting thing that you see in online courses, especially coding courses, is that the teacher doesn't really know how to code. It's mind-boggling. When you talk to the teacher of an online course, and I every time I did an online course, I tried my best to reach out to the teacher and get their information. It's very common that they have never built a fully functioning app in their life. They have never built a fully functioning whatever they're teaching in their life. And this does not make sense to me. If I want to learn coding from someone, do I want to learn fundamentals of theory, blah, blah, blah? Maybe. But I just want to learn how to make money. I just want to learn how to take the skill and make money fast while learning the other things in the background. It's very easy to solve problems and learn things when your pockets are full. I see people who are earning extremely low amounts of money, taking the bus, riding 2 hours in the traffic to their work, and then trying to learn things like philosophy and psychology and all that. You know what would have been easier? If your travel time was 2 minutes. If you lived right next to the work, even if it's an expensive location, and then you spend the time actually learning those things while you're at home. So now coming to the next part of the video, here is how you should learn anything. Let's say you want to learn coding. And I take coding as an example. I keep talking about coding because I've just recently learned how to code and I'm extremely passionate about it. What you do not want to do is start from something that is completely unrelated to what will make you money at the end. Let's say in the end you want to become a JavaScript developer for a company like a startup. What people do is that they first start by learning C, then they learn C++, then they learn data structures, then they learn object-oriented programming like Python, then they learn JavaScript, then they learn the framework, and then they get the job. This has so many failure points. You can fail at learning C, you can fail at learning C++, you can fail at data structures, you can lose your motivation at Python, blah, blah, blah. So what you need to do is directly jump to the end. If you want to learn coding, learn the framework first. It will be extremely difficult, but in a short amount of time, you'll be able to pick it up. Don't do these extremely indirect methods by learning how operating systems work, learning how laptops work, and then trying to make money as a coder. Granted, in theory, knowing all these things is a good thing. But you can start learning all these things after you've started making money. After you've got the job, then you can try to become better at it and try to get more perspective. When I was in college, I was making some amount of money through an internship. And what I found out is that after I was making the money, whatever free time I had, I was learning far more than when I was learning before the money. Because before I was making money, the only thing I was thinking about was how to make money. The only thing I would think about is, I want to take girls on dates, I want to go out and eat food, I want to, go to college by taxi as opposed to taking public transport. That's the only thing I was thinking about. But once all this nonsense is cleared from your head, you can learn whatever you want. I had insane amounts of time just to free to myself where I could think. When your basic needs are not met, when you cannot afford your food, when you're living off your parents, when you have no social life because you can't afford to go out, it's very, very difficult for you to have the mental peace and the mental space to learn something new. So here's how I would do it. First, I would spend a maximum of 30 minutes watching a video or learning from a person or whatever. A maximum of 30 minutes a day. Then I'll spend 2 hours in the day doing nothing. I'll not watch any YouTube. I'll not go out in public where there are so many sounds and smells that will distract me. I'll sit in a room where there is no stimulation, no food, nothing, and just think. And what happens is, when you sit for extended periods of time and just think, you gain perspective. You think about every single sentence that you learned in those 30 minutes, and you gain a perspective around it. You have your own opinions, and your own opinions will be different from the public's opinions. Right now, everybody has the same opinions. Everybody thinks the same in their set of people. Everybody from one particular college is basically thinking the same thing. So you can basically change the way you think. You can basically change the way how logic and thought works in your reality. Now, when it comes to hard skills, it's a bit difficult. What I was talking about right now is when it comes to when you want to learn complex ideas like philosophy, psychology, game theory, etc. But when you want to learn a hard skill that makes you money, what you want to do is you want to learn it either one-on-one physically or in a classroom setting physically with not more than 5 people in the classroom. In Indian colleges, there are like 50, 60, 100 people in a classroom. You're not going to learn anything. There is probably no human being on the earth who can control a classroom of 100 people for 4 years at a stretch. It's not going to happen. You need to find a sort of private group. You need to find a sort of coaching where you'll get extreme amounts of attention. You'll get extremely fast responses when you want to learn something. And you'll basically be forced to come up with the output. When I was learning coding in Indonesia, it was one teacher to about 6 students. And there was a very, very high amount of personalized attention. If I needed help, I would get help instantly. And not just would it be help in solving the current problem, it would be help in understanding how to solve future problems, because there's no teacher who's going to be with you for life. So when you're learning one-on-one with a teacher, you want to learn how to solve problems, not how to solve this problem. Also, an interesting thing that I see is that there is almost zero accountability of the person who teaches you to the amount of money you make. And it does not make sense to me. I know a lot of YouTubers are starting to do income share agreements, which I'm a huge fan of. But if someone says, I will teach you this and you will make this, and I don't have any stake in this money that you make, I will not trust them. If someone says, I will teach you a skill, you will make 10 lakhs a month or a year, and out of the 10 lakhs a year, I want 5 lakhs. I trust this guy because he has vested interest. He needs me to be successful to be successful. He doesn't make money if I don't make money. So in the broad spectrum of things, people are only going to do what's in their best interest. And you need to find a teacher whose best interest is that you become successful, not that the best interest is that you spend the largest number of hours learning from them. If you liked this video, or even if you hated it, let me know in the comments below as to what sort of other things you want to hear from me. I have some pretty interesting opinions about a lot of things. I spend probably 4 or 5 hours a day just thinking. And follow me.